And Caitlin Bird, who works for the National Parks, is a member here at Montreal Cree Nation, and that's she, daughter of Mavis Bird and late Chief Richie Bird. So thank you, Mavis, for coordinating your booth there with this event here. So. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Gerald, our Master of Ceremonies here this evening. Good night, open now. I should take a school. You meet that was the or deal with Prince Albert, our urban center. That was not Paskoski. We have members from Paskoski here, Little Red. We go with those who knows have anything. National, but now I should take that was me. So I'll turn it over to Gerald. Oh, who also? I can't forget Elder Rose Carney. She's here from Montreal, Saskatchewan. So. Thank you, Rose, for being here. Here's Gerald.
Thank you very much, Roger. At this time, we're going to ask Senator Nolan Henderson to come on up here to bless the food as well, have opening prayer. So we ask you all to rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats.
Okay, so delegate I thank you for being able to be here with us this evening on this celebration. Igår har jeg ikke så meget også min at det gik on, men jeg måste ses med så at det kan blive skåne og ikke se kinto tomatna og det chihi gota det tomat då det ser stort ut jag vet inte vad det speaks för att det går inte speech gota det vi chihi chivisto kista no det vi chihi ja simanto mata sabina kan tomatna Nasta chapel to be chapel mutanoj adoptarsek. Etuitat mitu ahoma. Ivoy yet nachka pusta magmina michuen. Yagoma katotomata tabit skakwak. Noina na Cree chigamna ntachana. Yosik igikemina mutara gibi. Masnaya. Igo hota trees kita mag. Kichgati ge matievole tawan nigisn stuti nanavach. Muska mina na tiksna hamogit. Isn stuti lagisna. Yo sumuta isma momento akmate. Yego ni hitoya. Pizza moena ditutmana. Is taspito mo Cuido. Deus não me esforça para apoiar a multa. Mas que me magnoina. Este não há cuido. Jesus. Amém.
Check one. Hey, that's a lot better there. This time I want to call up the Chief of Montreal Cree Nation, Miss Joyce McLeod.
Greetings. Before I don't stand alone as your leader. I am never alone. We work together and I have a team because we are a team and I don't stand alone as a leader. Vi står så att precis nu, vilket skriter. Greetings in the last minute now, every time I come to this gym, it really impresses me how much the school staff and the students have worked to make this thing possible. In the bay, they go their way. I don't know how many hours to prepare all the work that you see here in this gym. first of all, I want to acknowledge the Creator. If it wasn't for our Creator, we wouldn't be here today. If it wasn't for our Creator's path, we wouldn't be standing here today in front of you. I also want to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory, home of the Woodland Cree. And Montreal is our home. Montreal will always be our home. We acknowledge the MC. We have two MCs. I want to acknowledge the Senator Nolan for the prayers, the drummers that are here, the Elders Council, parents, decorators, school staff. The principal took me to the school, and I was just really impressed, you know. Just about every door is decorated with treaties, based on the treaties. Those students are the future leaders, like we always say. You are building future leaders, teachers, and that makes me feel good. I want to acknowledge the cooks, the servers, the janitors, the shoppers, and all the displays that are out there. I can stand there all day just reading. You know, there's so much history. And if it wasn't for history, we wouldn't even be here. Last year, in 2022, the leadership designated, here standing here, we designated February 11 as a holiday for our nation. That has never been done. This is the first time last year that we designated. We knew the Rongs had their day. We knew Peter Valentine had their day. Montreal never had their day. We never had William Charles Day. So last year we designated to acknowledge that February 11 was a special day. It was a holiday for us. Last year, with the help of this year, with the help and the direction from Roger Ungo and the team along with the council, we decided that they're going to make something special. But even so, as COVID, we were hit with the COVID for the past 2 years. During COVID, other than fighting with people with toilet paper, you know, we were left at home. We were at home in Saskatchewan, and you see, because to us, as soon as we heard COVID. So, you know, for 2 years, we stayed close to our homes. And then sometimes during that time, we brought out a pass, you know, just the leaders and certain people can have passes. And that brought us back history, you know, years and years ago. Nobody was allowed to leave the reserve without a permit, without a pass. Years later, we couldn't even cut wood without a permit. So, you know, there's this very Memorial Day. It's a Memorial Day for our sports and cultural events. Our language, our culture play a big part of our lives every day. And I look at and I think the land-based learning in the school, which is making a big difference with our students and our families. I look at the displays over there, all these past year, all the things that the kids are doing. Because yesterday I was in a restaurant at Northside. On the wrist of Cisa, he has got a little beaver bracelet. I don't know if you guys remember, but you know, we used to be so proud of our parents being trappers. We used to have those little beaver from the beaver's arm. We used to have those in our bracelets. We used to be very proud of that. Adhesion to the treaty number 6 was signed in Montreal on February 11, 1889, 134 years ago. I stand before you as the first female chief 132 years later, and like I said, it's not our past, our saviors all these leaders. Today, I want you to think about, I wonder be nice to have a 1-minute silence because you know, as you look at this board here, we take a look at our past leaders. Their spirits are with us today. Their spirits are with us. Successfully, even with the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren of these past leaders that are here today. I want to remember that. So I want you guys to remember that. We also know how Maya comes to watch you. And I want to ask for a 1-minute silence if that's a good thing. I'm going to say, Hama. You can stand up. Or Good again. Last, let us never forget the boat bell. Let us never forget about the past leaders. You don't know where you're going unless you know where you come from. Let's all remember that. Good again. I want to give these, my counsel here. And we just start to get speaking.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, elders. I just want to thank the team that put this all together. It started off with a planning event for a community supper, for a one-night event, a one-evening event, and we invited some people from health, from education, from the land-based program, and all of a sudden it ballooned into a 4-day event. So, I want to thank the team. If I can remember everybody off the top of my head here, we have our land-based people in the back over there. We have Jared Nelson, and we have Larissa Beatty and Joe Nelson. They're the land-based team here at the school. We have the health representative, which was Carol and Delia. And then we had Roger, who's our coordinator of this event. And then we have our principal as well, that was part of the planning. Myself and one of the key people that organized everything was Tammy McKenzie. Tammy, she's in the back, she's our youth coordinator. Thank you, Tammy, for putting a lot of it together for us. So, just a big shout out to all those people that made this event happen. I know it's not over. We got 3 days of events planned, and looking forward to a good weekend. So, thank you for everybody that's here. We got all our elders and dignitaries, too many to name. But tomorrow is even going to be a bigger event. At 1 o'clock tomorrow, we got a long list of dignitaries that are going to be here. So, hope to see everybody here tomorrow as well. So, anyways, I'm just going to keep that short. So, thank you. Have a good night.
Good evening, everybody. First off, I'd like to thank the Creator for giving us this beautiful day. Also, I'd like to thank Senator Nolan for blessing the food and getting us started for the evening. I just want to say we are here to celebrate and acknowledge our past chiefs and council for the Montreal Cree Nation. And if you guys haven't noticed, there's booths out there, so I'd like to thank Terry Roberts from the Lac-Meron Community Band for bringing out his display. Caitlin Bird and Scott Biscuit from the Cree National Park, thank you. Also Jared, Larissa, and Joe, thank you, Land Base. Also Tammy members for showing up, and the dignitaries, thank you very much for making this the first evening of the weekend a success. So with that, have a safe ride home to your home fires. Like I said, thank you.
Man, these tall people anyways. Mike was on my forehead here. So at this time we're going to call up Eldon Henderson, our urban council. Come and say a few words, then we'll get Carol to go last.
Thank you, Gerald. I just noticed I was on the agenda here to speak on some of our T6A committee stuff, so I'll save some of that there. But today is definitely, when I walked in here, you could just tell that we're here for a reason, and it's such important to our nation and to the Woodland Cree. So I definitely want to thank the organizers and everybody else that has put a lot of effort into today and for tomorrow and for the weekend. So thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, Eldon. And Councillor Carol Maytaho/Valentine.
Good evening. They always say save the best for last, so I just want to say thank you to Senator Nolan for saying a prayer for us today. Thanks to the Creator for allowing us all to be here today. Thank you, Blanche, for doing an amazing job in this gym. I came in here this afternoon and I was just blown away. And the planning committee that we put together, like it just, from one idea to the next, and it just, we knew what we needed to do, because last year we did create, we decided we needed to acknowledge this date, November 11th, and this year it's on a weekend. So we figured, okay, how are we going to do it? So then the ideas just started coming in, and who should we invite? Who needs to come? So we sent out our invitations, and sat around and discussed, what do we need to do? And, it just feels like it's coming together. And for our community members to come out, I thank you guys for coming. And there's a lot of information in the back there with our treaties. Like our job as chief and council is to, ensure that our treaties are being protected and they're being enforced, implemented. That's every one of us has a duty. And every day we go out, we think about things, what we have to do. My portfolio is health, and it's huge. The biggest one is mental health right now, and we're pushing for mental health all the time because that's our treaty right. And there's just so much to our treaties and teaching the younger ones how important it is, like all the time. You just gotta have that conversation wherever you are. There's different conversations regarding how with chief of council and what is the role of chief of council? And to me, that's the biggest thing. It's our treaty rights. So this year, we decided, there's not really the COVID restrictions anymore. Let's do it. So this is it, and there's going to be more this weekend. Gerald's going to go over the event schedule, and I just thank you all for coming out this evening, and come out tomorrow afternoon, come out on Saturday, Sunday, join in on our celebration with us, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. I just wondered if we're gonna get Doyle to come on up, or do we want to save him for the most delicious part of this evening during supper?
Or you can leave for tomorrow. I've set my mom's schedule for tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, that would work. Okay, what we're gonna do with Doyle here tonight, we're gonna move him for tomorrow. He's got some good words for us as always, so we're gonna save him for tomorrow, and I'm always excited to hear what he does for our communities, especially the Churchill District, our northern communities. That being said, at this time we are ready for supper. Food is blessed, food is out. So we'll get all our helpers. We need you here. Get ready. We want you to serve the elders, our young ladies and our young men. If you're able, volunteer yourself. Come on up here. Start off with the plate first to serve our guests as well as our elders. That's always important to acknowledge our guests and our elders in a good way with a good plate of food. So come on up, young people. Let's get this started so we can all eat together as a family. Yeah, all right on. We got so many people coming up. Thank you very much, young people, for volunteering yourself. It's really important that we always do the best that we can to support our visitors and our elders. And it's a good teaching that way where we value and love them. We value and love them for what they carry within our home fires and their hearts and their knowledge, as well as unconditional love for grandchildren. So we'll have a quick supper first, and then we'll be eventually we'll call up our guest speakers, our knowledge keepers, to give us some good words. I know Alden, Uncle AJ, and Brother Almer.
Because we're gathered here today to celebrate adhesion to Treaty 6. As we all know by now that our treaty was signed in February 11, 1889 in Malinosa. So that's the reason why we're gathered here for the next 4 days. So I'm just up here to ask that we be respectful. If we're done eating, let's not leave the building. Let's stay here and let's listen to all the presenters. So I ask you that in respect as well. So thank you. Hi.
Thank you very much, Uncle. You know, back in the day, in Little Red, we had an old man by the name of Chachini. This old man was what we call our community whip man. I remember as children, we would be playing in a hall, we would be at certain events such as this. And that old man would be carrying a willow stick with him. He took on the job as a Oscapios, a whip man, to make sure everything was in order. With that stick, he would, us as children, he would whip our legs with that whip, and he would tell us, go sit with your parents. Then he'd follow us to our parents, and then he would make sure their parents would be given a quick lecture. Please watch your children while you're here. This is not a playground. It's a place of business. Those old teachings that we had back then were very important. He was one of our knowledge keepers. But he was also one of the scariest men that I've ever met. And that man was a good community whip man. And his intentions were never to hurt us, but it was to keep us in line. And he did a really good job of that. Long story short, my dad took us to go visit him at his cabin one time. When I walked into the door, he looked at me and he goes, go sit on that little chair there. Your dad and I are going to talk. I didn't move. He had a cane at the time. And he'd raise that cane and he'd hit the table really hard. What did I just tell you? You go sit in that chair, you do not speak. Your dad and I are going to be talking. And he scared me and he made me cry. So I'm sitting on this little chair just snot coming out of my nose. Eventually I fell asleep. My dad woke me up. All right, I'm done now, let's go. So he got me dressed. I had a little black skidoo suit with orange stripes on the side. And as we were walking down the road, I looked up at my dad and I said, Dad, what? That old man's mean, hey? He is mean. If you don't listen to him, he's going to hit you with that cane. So you got to listen. Don't ever bring me back to visit him again, I said. But these are the old teachings that we have in our communities. And some of these teachings need to come back to make sure our children are kept in line. And we do it out of love for their safety. And this is one of the teachings that we teach our children to become respectful to our elders. That being said, in respect to our elders, to one of my teachers, to my uncle, to my family, I want to introduce you to one of our knowledge keepers, our traditionalists, my dad, Mr. A.J. Felix. Let's give him a round of applause.
Ena na skumu ya ne me kumru ya no tamis tape nan tausi se tape suichi class wa a ho tape ke sumo ke ki we tape we tamo ke we are always skate tamo. I want to be thankful that I was invited to come to this event here. I was in the first event in 1989 in Molinosa. I was there on the first event that happened out on the lake. I was there. I was lucky to have been there, to have been asked to be one of the organizers. I was with the Grand Council at the time, and but I didn't come here to teach the elders anything. I just came here to maybe remind them of what happened. Just to remind them, and they'll remember. The elders will remember some of the discussion that happened 134 years ago here in Montreal Lake, Molinosa. Aksenanas kumuanoma, aksay kustay way ispike. And nas kumakik min kumunyaw sagay kaniyino. And nas kumakik eusita a special time for treaty, for their treaty. I'm being very happy and I appreciate your chief and council to have made a treaty day, a real treaty day, and a treaty event for something that happened, something serious that happened 134 years ago. Treaty, as you know, treaty was a special event in Canada. In Canada, they came and signed treaties with us. And the reason why they wanted to sign treaties was they wanted to come and live with us. And they wanted to live with us with in a legislative way, a real way. And they said they wouldn't sign treaties with anybody else, but they'll sign treaties with the people of the land. The people, the sovereign people of Canada, that's the only ones they could sign treaty with. And England said in 1763, you do not take Indian land anytime. No, you have to deal with the Indians. That's what they said. So they had to come and deal with us. My name is A.J. Felix. I'm from Sturgeon Lake. I have been a Treaty 6 helper for 45 years. I think it's more now, but I keep saying 45. And I'm also, that's Treaty 6 started in Fort Carleton. I'm the helper for Fort Carleton. And Montreal Lake, Molinosa Treaty is an adhesion to Treaty 6. I am the I am the fire keeper for Fort Carlton. And we have been doing special ceremony on August the 23rd of each year. 1876, August 23rd, treaty was signed at Fort Carlton. Altogether, there were 18 places, 18 adhesions that were made to Treaty 6 because we're so far apart, we're so spread out, all the way from Manitoba right through Saskatchewan into the Northwest Territorial borders and also the Rocky Mountains. Treaty 6. There were 18 different sites that treaty was signed. 18 different sites. Malinosa was one of them. The latest treaty that was made was in Soto Reserve in 1954. The latest adhesion, Soto Reserve. There are 55 bands that signed Treaty 6. 55 bands. And we have people on Treaty 6 that are not all Cree, no. We have Plains Cree, we've got Woodland Cree, we've got Swampy Cree, we've got Dene, we've got Soto, we've got Dakota brothers. We've involved the Dakota brothers in our treaty territory, and we have quite a few of them in Treaty 6. They didn't officially sign treaty with the government of Canada. They are still attempting to make adhesion to Treaty 6 here in our territory. But they've got smart. The reason why it's taking so long is they want more than what we settled with in Treaty 6. And as a result, it's taking a long time. They've got smarter. They got smarter. They want more land. And they want mineral rights. They want water rights. See, those are things that we thought our elders settled for. And as a result, over the course of the time, because the government, not 10 years later, after we signed treaty at Fort Carlton, already started to slip away from the meaning of the treaty that we signed. Already. 10 years after we signed treaty, we started going hungry already. 10 years. In just 10 years. And then there was a rebellion that happened in 1885. Some of our people were alleged to have been helping the Métis in that rebellion. And some of those treaty lands were lost. Several bands lost their land because the government said that they participated in the rebellion in 1885. And at that time, shortly or during that rebellion, we started losing treaty rights. They even locked us up in our reservation. Somebody, I think the chief was saying something about permits. That's where they came from that rebellion. They started to keep us locked up in our reserve. But I want to say this. I want to thank those old people that signed treaty. I want to thank them because you know what? The very thing that they agreed with is still alive today. Everything that we had problems with in treaty and treaty rights, and we took them to their courtroom, we've won every court case. We have won every court case for our treaties. Yes, and those old people were smart. When they sat down and they talked about very different things. One of them that they talked about was land. They said land. Okay, I'll tell you what. We can't sell our land because land is our mom. Our land is our mom. It provides everything for us and our children yet not born. That land is our mom. It provides everything for us. We cannot sell you our land. We can't sell our land because that's our mom. Whoever heard selling their mom? Because that's what they asked for. Can we buy a little bit of your mom? You can't sell a little bit of mom. A little piece of mom, you can't. What we'll do, they said, we won't sell our mom. Neither will we sell a piece of our mom. But I'll tell you what, we can share our mom. It still belongs to us, our mom. We'll share our mom. You can come and live with us. And the government said, we will come and live with you, but we will tax our people for coming to live on this land, and only 6 inches of land is what we need to grow crops and to feed our children, and also to pay you for letting us live with you. You will not pay taxes. We will pay taxes. And what we get out of the taxes, we will provide everything that we promised you. That was a promise. And they said, fish, that's yours. Trees, those are yours. Rocks, rivers, lakes, those are yours. We want water. If we want water in our farm or whatever, we will dig in the ground to get our water for our livestock and our families. Anything else, everything else is yours. It stays yours. Ducks, anytime, those are yours. Anytime you want to gather wood, berries, those are yours. See, the way our elders understood that treaty, my goodness, it's still good today. The way they understood it and what they said will happen with treaty, it's still good today. And we'll go to the court again, we'll take them to court because it's written in the treaty. We're not even supposed to be paying any taxes. We're not supposed to pay any taxes. No. One thing that I remember, I'm also the treaty keeper, the pipe keeper, and the fire keeper for treaties 1 to 11. I'm the fire keeper, I'm the pipe keeper, I'm the one that starts that treaty 1 to 11 campfire every year. It was in Edmonton this year. The year before it was in Fort Simpson. And the year before it was Cochrane, Ontario. Next year it's going to be in Winnipeg, Manitoba, sometime in July. I go and start the fire. That log that burned in Edmonton, I wrapped it up and it's in my bundle. And I'm going to take it to Winnipeg next summer, and we're going to start that fire in Winnipeg with that log. And when that treaty gathering is over, I will take one of the logs, let it cool out, I'll wrap that, and take it to the next fireplace. 14th fireplace in Winnipeg next summer, 14. The wife is co-fire keeper. She was given tobacco because I'm the fire keeper. A man alone cannot keep a fire going. It needs the wife. Particularly a sacred fireplace like the treaty fireplace. A man alone cannot keep that fire burning. It needs a woman to help keep that fire burning. It's a sacred fire. So that's where my wife comes in. She's the co-fire keeper nationally for treaty. So you might have noticed that wherever I've gone, she's been with me. And that's one purpose that she served. But the other purpose that she has is she does not let me go alone because I'm handsome. So treaty, we're treaty people. We are treaty people. And my goodness sakes, the Creator Lord God didn't allow our elders to just let everything go free. We have ownership to life on this island, and we're not letting it go. The land, the trees, the mountains, even the minerals. We didn't give up the minerals, and we didn't give away the minerals. Somehow the white people and the Indians are coming to a point where they might have to go to court. Why is the white man taking our trees and not giving us a dime? Why is the white man digging all the oil out and not giving us a dime? Why are we digging uranium with chemical digging uranium and not giving us a dime? Why are those trains 3 miles long, 4 miles long, leaving the province without giving us a dime? We're coming to that point. Natural Resources Transfer Agreement group is meeting in Musquatchie in the spring, and we're going to talk court. We're going to talk court. They owe us trillions of dollars back pay because they promised whatever they cut, stumpage, whatever they use, they were going to start a trust fund for Indians, and that trust fund is sitting there with trillions of dollars for Indians. It's sitting there. Nobody has taken it to court. We are going to take it to court. And I want to thank PA Grand Council for heading up that Natural Resources Transfer Agreement Commission. And people across the land, in treaty land, are going to take it up. All the chiefs are in agreement. Yes, it's about time we do something about it. I don't want to talk too long. I know it's a mistake. Except ewi tamaga o musundo asway tamo tansay tamay to pahamato kay betawake ay stahan may data to pahamato. I want to tell the young people treaty is very sacred. So I'll even say further, you're going to school. Young people, you're going to school. That's a treaty right. Don't abuse that treaty right and leave school. Abuse school. Don't do that. You also have health is a treaty right. Medicine is a treaty right. We're lucky. I was even thanking the Creator, Lord God, this past Thanksgiving Day. And I said, Lord God, I want to thank you. I have a health card. The health card brings my kids to the hospital anytime they need to go to the hospital. That's a treaty right that did that. I want to be thankful, Lord God, I've got a health card for my wife, my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. Don't abuse that card. When I say don't abuse that card, don't go selling pills. That's your treaty right. And if you're young and you don't understand that, one day you'll be older and you have grandchildren that need medication. And if you abused it and we've somehow lost it, we're going to be in trouble. Manatsik, that are treaty rights. Whatever is so sacred is a treaty right. Let's not abuse our treaty right. This is Treaty Day, and I want to leave you with that treaty message. Hi. Thank you.
Thank you, Elder Lodgekeeper A.J. Felix. At this time, I want to call on Senator. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, we got a presentation to do here to AJ. AJ, we can come back up here. We want to give to you. And Auntie Patsy, Estem. Yeah. We want to honor you guys with a monetary gift. She's coming. Each package is $10,000. Thank you, Mom. It's always good to have my mom with my dad here, AJ. She does keep him in line. Oh, yes. All right, without further ado, Honorable Senator Nolan Henderson, I wasn't sure should I use Martian or Eddie or Nolan, but you know, that is his first name. And it's appropriate that we address him in a good way. Our Senator of Montreal Cree Nation, Mr. Nolan Henderson.
I'm just going to, I thank you for being able to be here with us, to listen in and learn from the various speakers. And I'd just like to thank AJ for being so diligent and so informative about the treaty that we're involved with. I'd just like to thank him for covering everything that he had here this evening in terms of his responsibilities. It's a big responsibility. And clearly outlining all those treaties, all those various services, to be honorable with him. And I'd like to really thank him for that message. And treaties are our history. our forefathers signed that adhesion in Molinosa, Iskahilensi. And, you know, if people are to want to know what Iskahilensi means, there's a Cree interpretation of that. And Senator Al Bird was one that clarified what the meaning of Iskahilensi is. And he refers to the era when, before vehicles got here, that the travel mode was by canoes. And where Molinosa is right at the mouth of Montreal River. And so if you're either coming south or north of the river, if you made a fire there, over your campfire, what you would do, takiskahigi, okay? Takiskahigi, itis chini. You put a stick on over your campfire to indicate which direction you're going. That's what Iskahilensi means. So that's Molinosa, as we know it. So I just want to go from that and tell you a personal story. You know, kaya ako mo Dansi is pinagskamanista Matsoy. I just want to tell you, when I was chief here, back from 88 to 90, 91, 92. I just want to tell you about that era a little bit of my personal experience. We were invited, one day we got a message, we were being invited to Pakitahoe. You know, like I think most of us know where Pakitahoe, but maybe the younger ones don't. But it's in northern Manitoba, down the Churchill River into Manitoba. So, imsiba dinipi dumingawin na nigotiti. We were invited to Pakistan to go and visit. And the three of us, we were all chiefs at the time. Harry Cook from Orange, Ron Michel from Peterball, and myself. And and it was Chief Biggity that invited us to that. In an arena, or I mean, in a setting like this, big hall, a lot of people in attendance, and we're sitting at the head table. And so, just after, like we are right now, finish eating, he gets up, approaches the microphone, and so he's thanking the people for being there, doing what we've been doing here. And he said, I'm very thankful for our chief to finally come and visit us. This is a long time coming. This is history, that our chief comes here to visit us. And so there's three of us. There's three of us chiefs. Still, we might not have a yapit. In Tokyo, yeah, and we don't have to see what. You would tell me what Yapia. Yago, who came out and the future can be big street. Big Shigo, he would tell Yapia, you got it that Mitona. He's this year. Harry, he got Ron Michel, he got Neva. He's a big street over, he got the chief Biggity. And so we're all sitting there and we're wondering, where's this leading to? And so he says, you know, Kayaso Buchi Pians Mustagoya, This is a story that's been carried on for many generations of where we came from. And so he is talking in Cree, and I'm trying to interpret it in English just so all the young ones can understand. So as he's speaking, he said, our elders, there wasn't very many of us. There was maybe about 30 of us. It was speak out of the food was scarce. The elders kept on having these dreams of moving to another place where they can survive, and there'll be food, plenty of food for them. We have to move out of here, is what the elders kept on saying to them apparently. And so it you magagawin spichiak, yago kimaragan, o taga piguragwa, yago mochiga kapi, mamoin taro, utapi, tunta may kisto, kakipisi, witamagawa tanti uchia, where I'm just giving you an opportunity to come and listen, to know where you came from. He said, we moved from Red Deer Lake. I'm supposed Sagahe, you got your watch to be done. What he said is that we came from Red Deer Lake. That's what our elders have been telling us. We came from Red Deer Lake. You know, in the history books, later than that, probably into the 1700s now, you'll read about Red Deer Lake. And for those of you that don't know, Red Deer Lake is Waskasiu Lake. Okay? So Chief Biggity is telling us, all of us, 3 visitors of us, 3 chiefs, saying, that's where we come from. Okay? And so if you're a scholar, you will not find that information anyplace. We've looked for it. So far, we have come empty-handed. Try to verify. It's not that we don't believe it, but it is not written anyplace. So when you think about why people moved back then and even now, because of food shortage. Food shortage has been a big factor in people moving from one area to another. So when he pointed out to the chief of Montreal Lake at that time, which was myself, it floored me because I had never ever heard of that story about where they come from. So when we look at today, we know it's not written any place. We've got lots of written history since then. Mago, Iwangu Mayago, their roots are here, over there. So I just wanted to share that story with you. It's a personal experience story, and Chief Biggity, I don't know if he's alive anymore, but he was a bit older than myself at that time, and but he would verify their folklore, what their elders have been telling them. So when you have to ask it, we ask ourselves, how many of us have bloodlines into Bakit Mahoy? We have to ask that. Dansi suwa humaya ko. Kuwa humaya kami no itagami. Iguti sigiti isa kaskit ko. So, TDV, thank you for listening tonight. That was a story we wanted to share with you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator. So before we move on, I want everyone to grab a little piece of white paper in front of you. It's this paper here. And what it says is the local contest. Any piece of art could be picked, just mark down the division and number of art pieces. And the art is what you see at the back wall. What we're going to be doing is, once that you have picked your art, the winner of that contest will receive picture right to part of our history of the Montreal Cree Nation Treaty 6 Adhesion contest, as well as $500 to the winner. So help us out, fill out this little piece of white paper, go to the back, pick your artist, and then put it in the box, in the ballot box to my right. All right? And also Division 1 for the students. 1 to 4? Okay. Division 1 to 4 for the students. I guess I'll, next speaker, I guess I gotta remind, tomorrow morning, our Chief and Council, along with our Elder AJ Felix, are going to be having a pipe ceremony at 10 o'clock here at the gym. We encourage all of you to come and sit down, to take part in the pipe ceremony. It is a beautiful ceremony. You've never been to one. Now is an opportunity for you to come and learn the importance of a pipe ceremony. As history has shown it was originated during treaty time signing. This is how back then we were able to sit down with the government of Canada to negotiate these treaties, and that was through a pipe ceremony. One of the most important ceremonies that we still hold dear today. That being here in Malinosa, as part of the Treaty 6 signing areas, one was just done just like that. So, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, coming through with our Elder Chief and Council and our Elder AJ to do the pipe ceremony. Everything is being pre-arranged. Those scoffers will be there, helpers, and we invite you to come and sit with us. Next speaker, we got a presentation to do. Right on, Nolan, Marcia, and Ed Henderson. It's a good name. All right, let's move on with them. This evening's speaker. Next speaker is going to be doing the 36th adhesion as part of the committee, and our urban councillor, Mr. Eldon Henderson. Come on up here, everybody.
Thank you, Gerald. I was told to keep it short, so I'm gonna just point out a few good things that the Treaty 6 Adhesion T6A committee have been doing over the last few years. So the T6A committee was established in 2019, and it consisted of the three bands, Peel Valentine Cree Nation, Montreal Lake Cree Nation, and Black Orange Indian Band. And we also had OTC, we had FSIM, PAGC, so that made up the team. And we have a few of our T6A members here tonight. I see Billy Bird, Jeff Badger, Roger Matarungo, Nolan, our senator, and Simpson. Simpson is out there, yeah. So that was some of our team. We did some good work. So one of the things that we're still going to work on is it was reminded me today up at FSIN this morning, and one of the things is they asked, so what's happening with the World Treaty Summit that we're going to host in Saskatchewan? So we invite a lot of the Indigenous groups from around the world to come talk about their treaties and their history. So that's some work that we're going to be doing here. I want to mention that the T6A TV that's outside there, outside the banner, so I think that's where it is. So that was some good work that we did there with Simpson, and we got the idea from Arnold to contact somebody to make the TV, so we got that done. I just want to mention the T6A flag right here. If Rick, if you come to the Rick, come give me a hand. So I just want to give you a little history on this flag. It's a really important flag. So what the Treaty 6 Adhesion Committee done is they did a logo contest. And it was a grade 8 from Stanley Mission from a high school, Hardlot. It was a Hardlot high school there in Stanley. I don't know the exact name of the school, but it was a grade 8 student that won it. And I think we had given her $500 or $1,000 for the logo. And so, just a little bit more history on this flag. Anytime there's a Prince Albert Grand Council Assembly, FSIN Assembly, and AFN Assembly, this flag is going to be amongst all the other flags. And there's a grand entry. So every grand entry from here on, like from since 2019, that flag will be part of the grand entry forever. So that's some of the good work that the T6A committee have done. And so that logo there, we're going to put that in our, there's some other work that we're doing, and it's called the T6A book. And we do have a name for it, but we're just, we have to get it authorized from our T6A committee. So that book is going to be taught in our high school here, Little Red, and all the bands, the Woodland Cree bands. So it'll be taught. Yeah, thank you, Ricky. Thanks. Yeah, so that book, the T6A book, we have about half our Laurent interviews done already, and then so we're going to get that work done for Montreal Lake and Peter Valentine, get those interviews out of the way. I think the other thing too is the T6A monument that we're working on. We have the plaque. The plaque is done. You know, it's a really nice plaque. It has our original treaty signing, and so it's all incorporated in there. And so that's some of the work, unfinished treaty business as we treaty work that we continue to do. I think one of the other things too that means a lot to us is that we lost one of our members, late Michael Charles. He was part of our team. He was from the Black Orange Indian Band. So we just lost him last year to cancer, and he was very instrumental in our team here. So And those are some of the key things that we're working on. And I just wanted to make a mention of this flag here. We have to get resolutions passed. We have to get resolutions passed at PAGC Assembly, FSI Assembly, and the AFN Assembly. So that work got done in 218, 219. So I think Frank was up at the AFN Assembly that time there. He helped out there too. So on behalf of our 268 committee, you know, we want to continue doing the great work in the area of treaties, and want to make sure that we have a report for our three bands or 3 woodland B bands. So moving forward. So, well, thank you very much, everybody, and good to have everybody support our treaty and our history that dates back to 1889 in Malanosa. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Alden. Right on. Good job, Alden. Holy cow, you guys are busy. Very busy. It's a good history in regards to the flag that is displayed here. Not many of us know that, how it came to be, and it was very educational. Thank you very much for that, Alden. Up next, we got my brother here, Mr. Elmer Ballantyne, who's worked very hard over the years in regards to education, learning as much as he can throughout Indian country. Not only that, was one of the guys who led of our traditional practices for Little Red. And I've had the opportunity to see him and the late Isaiah Halkett to go out to bring a traditional pipe back to our homeland, our home fire, as well as to bring back ceremony, the powwow, the pipe ceremony, back to our people. Being such a young lad back then, I was one of the youth reps. Was given the opportunity to sit with them and to help develop this very, very important ceremony. And that we recognize that we as a people, that we fight every day to regain what we have lost. There was a time where we were unable to commence our ceremonies. And it's men like Elmer, myself, our families, you know, we continue all that on for our children and our grandchildren. We are both grandparents in our own right. Now Elmer's past me, now he's a chaplain, and I'm going to be behind him shortly. I just know it. Especially with the importance of family in our community. This next part here, Elmer will be explaining what he has learned, what it holds true to our hearts, especially to our right as First Nations people. So that being said, I want to introduce Mr. Elmer Ballantyne.
Niga kahyo te tamskat na wow anuts ta muktawino ito istamaga magisigaw. Mina ikawino waski ito istamaga pamutaka asami. Egwa anatayo kan gaganawin ga lewe kauta. Tatis kau inanas kutaba ito istamagus ya kumakaskyo matsu. Minapih dia utak unigan yukayat, ukemakan uyasuiwa. Minagagi pinigani cik kagi yuk manganun cikutinawe. Kuapman waktu temas sampai sunci. Minagipih dia uyasuiwa kagi pinigas kagi pinigan cik umamunya sa lailali, ego paswawaski. Inanas utaman, minuman utsuta, kamao sa paya, tagistano, higiteno, woodland Cree at maitwa, higit mas naha, kitchen asutamauna, skate no utamalanosa, tapamad unuma, ngutasi, kahit tamahman. Relatives, community members, the leaders that are here, the chief, the council members, our elders, the organizers. I give thanks first to the Creator for giving us an opportunity to gather here today. Also to Mother Earth for giving us the opportunity to walk upon her once again, this earthly life that we're gifted another day. I heard mentioned that tomorrow morning there's going to be a pipe ceremony. A pipe ceremony to recognize February 11th, 1889, there was a treaty signing along Montreal Lake, a place called Malinosa. I traveled extensively to many different provinces and also into the United States for different cultural events and also ceremonies and celebrations. One of the things I always acknowledge and I always repeat is that I'm Woodland Cree, that I'm proud of that I'm proud of Montreal Lake Cree Nation. So when we look at the treaties, we read the logo that's up there: as long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and the rivers flow. Why is that? Where did that come from? Dante Yojimaga. We got to go back to time immemorial. When we talk about the beginning of time, before contact, how did our ancestors live at the time? Part of that was that daily ritual of getting up every morning and giving thanks, like I try to do also, and try to give thanks at the end of the day for what we're given. That's what our ancestors did. I heard Chief Bobby Cameron of the FSIN speaking about the spirit and the intent of treaties. How do we define that? How do we make people understand when we talk about the spirit and the intent of treaties? I used to be a vice chief of the Prince Albert Grand Council. Every time we gathered, we came together at pipe ceremony every morning. The spirit and the intent of treaties is represented with that sacred pipe. Why do we do that? It's because of that logo that's right there in the wall behind us, in front of us. As long as the sun shines, what's the intent behind that? There's a spirit behind that. Ang nag-isigaw, pisimta, nag-isigaw ka, pisagi, itutagwa. For time immemorial, that sun rose from the east each and every day to this day, and for many years to come, to infinity. So when our grandfathers encountered Montreal, the settlers coming into our traditional territories, trying to clear land for the settlers that were yet to come, first thing they had to do is they had to get rid of the buffalo that were part of Turtle Island, because that's where our ancestors, that's where they survived, that's how they lived. And everything was sacred to them. So as long as the sun shines, when they signed treaties, those spirits of those deities in the four directions came to them in dreams and said, we want to make sure that you're taken care of for time tomorrow. From here on, the next generation, the generation after that, use us as part of that treaty signing. Use us as part of that pipe ceremony, those ceremonies that you have. The next one over is Gigawinowaski. Mother Earth spoke to them also, and he said, use me as part of this sacredness that you're going to come upon with the white people that are here. As long as the grass grows, isko mas kusig yung pigay. Wachipiana, that's the medicines that are part of Mother Earth. They cried out also to our ancestors and said, we're here to watch over you. The next part to that is, as long as the rivers flow. Sku Sipia Ipunchuage. That's what our ancestors were told. So within those prayers that are going to be said tomorrow morning, to recognize that signing of Woodland Cree, the Treaty 6, and the adhesion that took place February 11th, commemorating that it's Treaty Day for all of Woodland Cree, and recognizing and using that day as a day of holiday. Since the treaty signings until now, we're making recognition of that. I want to thank the leadership for doing that. I want to thank the organizing committee for giving that day so that our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and the ones that are unborn yet, give them that opportunity to understand and learn that our ancestors did this for them. When we talk about adhesion to that, the other thing that's part of this treaty signing, every time a pipe was lifted, there was a feast that took place, like we did today, even though it's buffet style. We offered food. That pipe, back in the days of the adhesion to Treaty 6, 134 years ago, our ancestors, that's what they thought of. Not of themselves, but of generations to come. That's why we have these little ones running around here, enjoying themselves. We're letting them enjoy the celebration of Woodland Cree and their signing. So when we offer food, they say our ancestors, all the ones that are here, up in the spirit world, they have a gift that they can bring to us, but we have to do those food offerings because there's sacredness of that traditional food, the moose that was there, the rabbit that was there, all that we serve is potatoes were traditional stable diet of our ancestors. That's something that they enjoyed. That's what they lived off. That's how they survived. The fish, so what we did is let them know that we're still here. We let them know that we're still surviving, regardless of what's happened historically. Their prayers, their acknowledgement to all those deities that watch over us, that we're still here, we're still resilient, we still continue on, regardless. But yet we're growing and gaining strength as we go, because our children are benefiting from that education of the treaties. Our children are benefiting from that health care that's provided to us. But at the same time, we got to help ourselves too. So when we make those food offerings, there's 4 things they say our ancestral people can bring down to us. But we got to do it on an annual basis, because they're blessings to us. They're blessings to our children, our grandchildren, our elders that are still here with us, trying to share their wisdom, their knowledge. First one they say is Askiu Matsun. Askiu Matsun. That's earthly life, because each and every one of us enjoyed that. Each and every one of us cherish each day that we're given to be with our family. Askiu Matsun, earthly life. The other thing they bring to us, our ancestors, they say is Wanaskewin. What is Wanaskewin? It's living in harmony with each other, living in harmony with the Creator, Mother Earth, and all of creation. Living in harmony with the trees, the animals, the swimmers, the winged ones. Wanaskewin, that's what that means. And to love each other. The third gift they bring our way when we do this traditional offering we did of food is Papiwiwin. What does Papiwiwin mean? It's prosperity. Prosperity in the sense that we live a long, healthy life. Prosperity in the sense that We can grow old with our children. We can grow old with our grandchildren, our companion. Kanut Tugui, our companions, that lodge that they bring warmth to, love to, food with, one day is going to be filled to overcapacity that our children have to go out and start their own lives. That's the spirit and intent of treaties. There's a spirit within those treaties. So the ceremony that's taking place tomorrow, it's necessary, it's important, because the spirit of the treaties cannot be forgotten. What we focus on is the written part of things. That's all we focus on, is the written part. There's a spirit to those treaties. We got to teach our young children to understand that. Not only understand it, but also to practice it and to believe in it. That it comes from here like our ancestors did, our grandfathers and our grandmothers. And the last one is Wiyatawaitamun, happiness. That's one thing we're always taught. Regardless of what your situation is, that you always try to give thanks every morning that you get up. Always give thanks every night before you go to bed. That's what the treaties are all about. That's what the spirit is, Yahjaku. And I say to our leaders, when I was within the Grand Council, this was given to me when we had pipe ceremonies. Oh, you know about it, Elmer. You lived it, Elmer. But I'm encouraging the leadership to get involved in it, because it's you that has to understand the spirit of what treaties are. When I went to the FSIN, 74 First Nations, there should be 74 chiefs there. But there was only a handful. We're losing the spirit and the intent of those treaties. So from the ceremonial part of things, we can't forget that ceremonial part. That is crucial and essential for those spirits that are out there to give blessing back to those treaties. So that we can carry on for many more generations. If we don't do that, we're going to lose our treaties, because the spirit and the intent of it are not being followed. So with that, I want to thank you. I want to thank my Uncle AJ for saving me a little part of talking about treaties in a spiritual sense, in a traditional sense. And I thank the leadership again, the community. Utagiano, umamunyaw sagay gani, nadas kutin, isnumuhtay, te iswapah tihaya ku, tuwasim snu, kusimno, iksikagugah kameita, anihe asutamauna, tipamantuna, wistawaw kagmipigutaj, iwagwinitsaha, magigtays ko, ay.
Hold up there for a second, Elmer. We've got a presentation for you, Chief. Dean? Yeah. Got a monetary gift for you, brother. Just want to wrap things up with closing remarks from Chief and Council for this evening's recognition of our Treaty 6 adhesion. So at this time, we'll call up Chief Joyce McClellan. Or, okay, we'll give that to Roger.
Yes. It's going to take a couple minutes, Lisa, to thank our presenters today. It's very encouraging and very educational what we went through this evening here. And I'm super glad that we went through this. And again, can't thank our organizers here. Can't thank them enough. The ones that prepared the hall, the ones that decorated the gym, the ones that prepared the meal, the hunters provided the food, the meat, everything just kind of as Dave mentioned, everything just kind of fell into place. And it's, it's from a higher power, it's from our Creator that provides that for us. And I give thanks today for that. Naskawini standouts match and made it all yeah. So, but before we go into the closing comments, I just want to say that tomorrow, with the pipe ceremony, I'm looking forward to that. It's one of the areas that myself that I tend to forget, and I should. And I'm really glad that AJ, Elmer, and the rest of the presenters brought that up because it's something that's very important and dear to, I know, very to a few people, especially some of the presenters. And just thankful that we're going to do that tomorrow, the pipe ceremony. But we've got events 12 o'clock at the school here. First, the pipe ceremony at 10. 12 o'clock, we've got the jigging contest for the students. Andrew, it's right here as well. 1 o'clock with our grand entry, with our dignitaries present, and of course, you guys are welcome to come and listen and take part in tomorrow's festivities as well. And then right till, geez, I can't remember what, I don't have a schedule in front of me, but I know there's a jigging competition tomorrow evening. There's a dry dance. I think the last time Shirley danced here, it wasn't a dry dance, it was a wet dance, so it's many months ago. Yeah, we've had some all-nighters here in this gymnasium, so just to remind Shirley of that. So. And tomorrow's entry is 1 o'clock, grand entry, iron swing, flag song, victory song, opening prayer, opening remarks. We have dignitaries from PBCM, Chief Karen Bird, Lantron's Indian Band, Chief Tammy Cook Searson, Grand Chief Hardlaw, Grand Chief Bobby Cameron, our MP Gary our MLA Doyle Burnett, and Doyle was here this evening, so thank you for being here, joining us, taking part in today's activities here, Doyle. Thank you for that, and we'll see you here tomorrow. Our Regional Director General, Indigenous Affairs, Rob Harvey will be here. Treaty Commissioner Mary Culbertson will be here, and AJ will do his presentation tomorrow again. Our closing song, Iron Swim, traditional supper at 4, and a community dry dance featuring Rest Boys here at 7 p.m. And as Dave mentioned, there's a total of $5,000 payout for a jigging competition. We have a pro, amateur, and the elders 60+ division. And of course, we've got our booths as well with Karen Roberts and Prince Albert National Park and our land-based program. And also the sports and rec will have a booth here as well. So that's tomorrow's events. And Saturday, on Treaty Day, we have our all-reserve recreation hockey tournament. We had 12 teams. One team pulled out because they didn't have a goalie. So we have 11 teams. The draw is being made right now. And Saturday morning, our gospel jamboree starts as well for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And I'm not sure which one of these gentlemen are doing the sermon on Sunday. I'm sure one of them will be here. So again, our church service will be at 3 o'clock on Sunday. So with that, I'm going to call up Eldon, and Rick's going to help me do a presentation. So we're just going to provide Eldon with a gift here. So thank you, Eldon, for your presentation here and your appearance here this evening. So thank you. And last but not least, another presentation we want to make. I'm going to ask Rick to give me a hand with this. We want to present a gift to our MC this evening. We'd like to present our MC Gerald Valentine with a gift as well. So thank you, Gerald, for your assistance and your help here this evening. So Gerald is, I'm learning from Gerald too, as each time we have an event, he helps me with the better understanding of our culture. So ask them all, Gerald, for that. So along with our presenter, so we can ask him right now. So with that, again, I'll turn it over to Gerald now. Hey, did he?
Troy, you got first dibs here. Come up here, my friend. You'll be giving us a few words, and then we'll go back to the line of command, chief. You're up next.
Good evening, everyone. I do apologize for being late today. I did break down while I was hunting for our celebration here. I know I got pulled home by a Ford, so I can't make fun of Fords no more. So my buddies helped me out, lent me a vehicle. So I'd like to thank you to the elder for helping prepare this morning. I want to say amazing job around the school here, all the youth doing the contest there. It's such an amazing feeling coming here, seeing all the chiefs up here. I was asking Norman some questions, I was going in the back asking questions. I'm still learning, I'm young, well, youngish, so I'm still learning on my part too. Even while hunting, I was unprepared. He was still teaching me different ways, different traditions, so that's, I listened more than I talked, so that's what I was doing, and it's such a beautiful evening for the celebration. Thank you all our visitors, thank you to my colleagues. I hope everyone has a safe time. Thank you.
Thank you, Troy, Councillor of Montreal Cree Nation. This time we'll call up our Chief, Joyce McLeod.
Anyway, what a great evening. National now, BBTP, national now, that we have some good food, good people, good information from the knowledge keepers. I'm learning new stuff from these knowledge keepers. I thank you I thank you on behalf of the chief and council here. The council, where are you? They're all over here. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's dance, jigging, dance. I'm going to so you'll be seeing me dance here with Elmer, I guess, tomorrow night. The rest of the boys will be going. So you have a partner. So anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you guys back here tomorrow. We'll be busy here. It'll be a busy weekend. I hope you have a safe journey home. And thank you for coming here. Thank you for sharing this day with us. And we learned a lot about the spirits today. And tomorrow it carries on. Thank you for that, Don. I can have a pipe ceremony. Thank you so much. We never thought of that. We learned from our neighbors from Little Red and Churchill Lake. So I'll say the wrong bit on. Working together. That's what it's all about. Anyway, bye-bye.
Thank you, Chief Valentine. All right, I think we had Troy was the last one we wanted to hear from, and we got opportunity by the Vice Chief and the councillors. We'll leave them for tomorrow as well. We got lots to talk about. So right now it's late. A lot of us got to travel home a bit. So that being said, we'll ask our elder, our senator, the man, the myth, the legend, to give us that proper prayer, to send us home in a good way. Mr. Senator Nolan Henderson.
Serieus kan nas kaya ako, upings ko ganun. And ilo is tayo sini kami no tayo dito na araw-araw nas kaya ako, diba? Nas ko mo ako minutla, ilo is tayo bigis na magawa. Kasi mato, ito kisita no pumunta. Atin naman nas ko mo na, ilo is tayo sini kami nabi. Ason na mo Deus, eu vou para o escuro. Eu gostaria de ir para o church. Eu me disse na minha piretinha, nas comunas. Eu vou cambiar sempre na que eu rapita baga noite. utisa kniga di wichego chukucho asisni nas modern level. E come anoche ti stai guiando ma te anche domani non ti torno più da sniare tu c'è e più avanti io wapage ti sei mi do abbatte ma mi do avanti io sono mantenuto trovata con la luce a te visitare e spondere tu e dove amen.
All right, don't forget, the young people can help us out here. We'll clean up here this evening before we take off. It's always good to help school staff to